Today is the third edition of the Africa Investment Risk and Compliance Summit, where we gather everyone who is interested in the African continent, exploring investment opportunity, to really have conversations around what are the obstacles, those risk and compliance issues, how do we mitigate that, and what are the steps we need to take to ensure that funding is able to flow into Africa at more affordable and a fair rate.
We are here today to look at how we together as Microsoft can partner with the investors that are coming into Africa to see how best we can transform the continent.
Of course, we are the premier sponsors of this function, and because we believed in it. I think the topic says, what are investors looking for in Africa? But it's even much more than that. It's all about what are the opportunities that are there abound in Africa. It's all about we telling the African stories ourselves.
So I'd like to thank God, first of all, for making this annual summit a reality. We are so grateful as a company and also as a continent for the blessings we enjoy. I'd also like to thank all who have agreed to participate in this year's summit, those in the room, those on the way, and also those online.
ADJUA is a powerhouse, and the work EBII are doing around getting that conversation with respect to risk on the continent to be less blanket and more tailored is phenomenal. That would improve things like access to capital.
I have a passion for Africa and the UK's relationship with its many and varied countries, based on the critical principles of respect and partnership.
I hope that the coming years will see Oxford continue to increase recruitment from Africa, along with our collaboration with African institutions, as it has throughout my tenure as Vice-Chancellor.
It is an investment of the business future, and any business must invest in that.
It's important to tell a full story about the continent, to tell a full story for investors, for researchers, for academics, and for anybody who wants to engage with the continent to know exactly what they're getting themselves into.
The African Continental Free Trade Area now has 43 countries that are state parties. In other words, 43 countries that have accepted the legal obligations to reduce barriers to investment and, of course, to ensure that Africa becomes globally competitive in the way in which other parts and other countries that are similarly situated are globally competitive today.
But we're learning here today that we can solve our problems, that even what AFTA is doing, African Continental Free Trade Agreement, what they are doing is also to support investment and trade within Africa. And we know that EBII has helped to put that together, and that is really, really wonderful.
So it's good to see that there's, highlight on understanding that we need to make the investment climate more conducive to international investors. And so that's very good to hear the officials and delegates here focusing on that issue. And so we're here to engage with them and show them how we can help create structures that will facilitate investment flows into their countries.
We need to educate our people and allow them to become a powerful force of being able to transfer intellectual capital from one point to the other.
The environment is conducive enough to convert them into opportunities of investing.
Despite the strong growth in FDI, investment flows to Africa accounted for only 5.2% of global FDI, up from 4.1% in 20.
Hearing about all the work being done to support female entrepreneurs and also of the obstacles into the way to boosting, female entrepreneurship, that's important.
Is form a sustainable business that is looking at different markets, not necessarily depending on one company.
Provide us the opportunity to be able to provide financing to women based on live data as opposed to having collateral. So I think there's a shift because of technology. Bankers are shifting their thinking.
Most African countries continue to provide a variety of investment prospects that would be of interest to investors, thanks to the continent's rapidly expanding population and increasing GDP levels, digital economy and financial markets.
There have been a lot of reforms which is encouraging foreign investors to come to Africa. And indeed, The growth prospect of the World Bank sees Africa as the next growth frontier for the entire globe.
More than anything today, I've been inspired as a diasporan, basically on what I can do back home and how I can contribute to the continent.
But our investments, I believe, go beyond just sending remittances. Diaspora involvement can be seen in increased trade and foreign and diaspora direct investments between our countries of origin and of destination. In many countries, diaspora engagement has spurred entrepreneurship, boosted investment confidence, and generally connected emerging economies of global markets.
I'm so passionate about Africa in general and African development. Coming here today and listening to what the investors have to say about investing in Africa, I know what I can personally do to help grow Africa in general.
Every African nation is richer today and can be even richer if we harness the gains of globalization and our very unique potential in huge stocks of natural resources, youth and human capital, market size, and the potential to work toward our shared goals.
It was very rejuvenating and inspiring to be here.
So you're required to have a risk-based approach. You're supposed to conduct a risk assessment, both at a country level and an organisational level and a customer level.
It was obvious that the conversations were very relevant. Everybody was trying to be practical. Everybody was using experience on the ground. Most of the people that were invited were people who were practitioners. They understand the issues, they understand the decisions that need to be made. The engagements were very clear. I think those who were sitting there too were hungry for opportunity.
Oh, exciting, exciting. It's been such an exciting day. Thought-provoking conversations. The room has been just full of incredible ideas, questions, answers, and I feel that it's been such a good day. Great networking. I'm getting a lot of feedback from delegates, speakers, sponsors saying, Ajoa, well done. EBII team, well done. What an incredible event.